Hello, Paso. This is Wicked Inc. 915, tattoo artist out of the borderland. I specialize in custom tattoos and digital art for band logos, business logos, and personalized art. Find me on Instagram at Wicked Inc. _ 915 or under Wicked Vinyl Creation to schedule appointments for your next tattoo or to get your personalized merch such as stickers, t-shirts, mugs, and patches. Thank you and have a great day.
Welcome back to the BAMC Showcast. We have a very special guest today. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. He is a legend and a pioneer of American Deathmatch Wrestling. He's had his own TV show, public access TV show. He's been on Jerry Springer. He recruited for them. He was in 2001 Maniacs with Robert Englund and Kane Hodder. Mine and Chris Jericho's favorite deathmatch wrestler, Man Pondo. Welcome to the show, sir. It's an honor to have you.
Well, Chris Jericho, he did say that I was his favorite deathmatch wrestler, but I think that's just so he could get in the book. But uh, I do appreciate you saying that. And how's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. How you doing these days, man? You've been pretty busy. Right, this is book number 2, two-time author.
Yeah, I have been busy, but here lately, man, I haven't been busy at all. Like, I don't know, maybe it's my age, maybe I pissed somebody off in the world, but I don't get booked as much as I used to. But when I do get booked, I work hard. I still take crazy bumps. So any promoter out there, get a hold of Mike or me and say, "Hey, we want Pondo."
Hell yeah. Well, you had a heck of a run this year, summer, or it's the spring through September with the GCW JCW feud.
I did. Had a good time with all that, and then after that was done, it was done. But now I'm booked on another GCW show, not until March, but it's here in Louisville, near where I live. I don't know, man. It just seems like Brett Danny, all them guys, they don't listen to the crowd as I walk to the ring or I'm walking back or I'm in the ring and they're chanting my name and they're buying my merchandise. I just wish guys would realize maybe people will buy a ticket to see me and bring me in.
Well, like I said, told you off air, when I went to CZW Tournament of Death in 2024, you were one of the reasons we bought a ticket. Probably the main reason.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, man, I wrestled Tarzan and then I wrestled Judge Joe Dredd and had a good time with both of them guys and sold a bunch of merch and all the fans took pictures with me. So DJ Hyde don't even call me no more. I don't know. Something
Okay.
happened. Something happened over the years.
I mean, those events, the CCW ones, I like those because it's an outdoor event. It's almost like a festival feel. You pay
Yeah,
$30, you drive up, BYOB. I
right.
love the standing room, in that case, standing outside. It's so much more fun. It's almost like it's a like a community there. It's a totally different
Yeah.
vibe from your typical wrestling show. It's awesome. It's like a party
The biggest
24/7.
problem with it is the weather, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
the weather's unpredictable. At any time it could rain.
Ashlak.
Um, but other than that, yeah, I like the outside vibe as well.
Yeah, the year after you did, because I saw you in 2024. Went the following year, this September, and yeah, it would start off nice and warm, and then by the end, it was torrential downpour. The ring was the blood and glass smoothie.
Yeah, I was in Japan at that time, I do believe.
Now you were telling me
But
you had
let's
a
get into the elephant in the room. So, I wrote a book. It's called Memoirs of a Madman. I believe you said you read it.
I did. I did.
Very easy read. A lot of people say it made them laugh out loud just reading, imagining some of the stuff. I put a lot into it. I put embarrassing stories as you read. I put great stories. I put true stories. I like to mess with scammers. I have a whole mess with scammer page in there. I made it in a comic book for the bloodymidgets.com. That's in there. I mean, just all types of stuff. And I would talking to a tape recorder for John Cosper, and then he wrote the book. And then, so I never realized that that made me an author or not. So um, I wrote this second book while I was in Japan. I was there for 9 months. I had a lot of downtime, a lot of train rides from Shin, Yokohama to Osaka to the fiance's house, uh, bus trips on wrestling shows, and just a lot of sitting around a hotel with a TV that doesn't speak English. So my buddy Christina Harvey, she got her Facebook hacked, and her husband just passed away. She had pictures of that, and she had family memories on there, all types of wrestling stories on there, and she had to redo everything. She had to start a new Facebook because some piece of shit hacker out there doesn't care about somebody's life. So I have so much stuff on my Facebook that I thought to myself how terrible that would be if that happened to me. So I sat down and I wrote a book. It's called Pondo versus the Horror Icons. And it's just me going to conventions, film festivals, or uh, going on the road with the ICP and just meeting all these famous horror people. I met the top four. I've met Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface before he passed away, Gunnar Hansen. Uh, and I just sat down and I wrote a book about it. Good experiences, bad experiences, how I did it, where I met him at. And it's full of pictures. And again, it's called Pondo versus the Horror Icons. And just like the first book, Sayazawa is doing the cover for the second book. So, that'll be awesome. John Cosper has all the pages. I'm terrible at grammar, in case you haven't figured that out. So he is fixing that, editing the book. So it has a release year, but not a release date yet. But you can get both of those at Amazon.com, or you can go to visitdeadpark.com. And visitdeadpark.com, you can ask John Cosper for an autograph copy. So, like I said, now I do consider myself an author because I wrote this second one. And if anybody out there wants to give me a review, because of course I'm going to go for part 3. But if you want to give me a review, you can go to on Facebook, kevinkannady.com. That's CANADY. If you put Pondo after that, my page should pop right up. Or if you go to Madman Pondo with the last O being a 0 on Instagram, give me a review. Good, bad, what you like, what you hated. That way, number 3, I can do better. And before we move on, I'm selling 8x10s and Japanese movie posters autographed. And you can hit me up on both of those and talk to me about that as well.
And Pondo, for those who don't know, Pondo's a huge horror buff. He was actually in 2001 Maniacs with Robert Englund and Kane Hodder, who I and most people would say is the best Jason ever.
I went. Me and Kane Hodder, we know each other, so I asked him, did he know that we was in the same scene? Because my scene was filmed in Georgia, and his scenes was filmed in L.A. They just put them together and made it look like we was in the same place. But I asked him, I said, did you know that we're in the same scene? And he said, no. Well, if you read the credits, they called him Jason. And he's like, oh, I don't know if they should have done that, but I guess nothing's happened out of it. But that was his name in the movie, Jason.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess you could get I don't know. Well, I guess it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, that sounds kind of risky. But
Right.
You've had an incredible career. Like I said, you were the pioneer of American Deathmatch Wrestling. Ian and Axel Rotten started ECW, and then you and I would say they kind of planted the seed, made that first plant. You and Ian, you guys got together and pretty much mutated or bred that plant all over the country. IWA
I
Mid
will
South,
give
various other
credit
points.
where credit is due. Bull Payne did a few after that, but he really hated doing them. But after I got a hold of death matches, I mean, I was going all over the United States with them. I've done them in 6 different countries. So yeah, I would consider me number 3 deathmatch in America, wrestler that started it all, made it all happen. And you can go back to old VCR videotapes and you'll find me. There I'll be. Back from 97.
Yeah, in the early 2000s, like CCW, IWA Mid South, the best of backyard wrestling video games, Firefall
Right?
Returns.
I'm in, yep. You'll find me in all of that.
Now, when in your first book, you said Abdul the Butcher got you in Japan. That was your very first tour or your very first Japan appearance ever was that big Japan tour. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Abdul?
back in 2000. They threw me in there with the CZW guys, which Zandig hated, but that's what they did. But Abdul was the one who got me in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, because of that, everyone thought you were a CZW guy. I mean, you did wrestle there off and on, but you were never a regular, were you? At CZW?
I was there for a while, but then ICP had their wrestling tour, Stranglemania Live, which overlapped a CZW show while I had the Iron Man belt, and Zandig didn't like that. So after that, it was Spot sometimes, sometimes not. But yeah, I mean, I always loved going to CZW though. It was always a really good time. I loved the fans. I loved doing death matches. So CZW was always a good time for
You
me.
were there in 2024. I saw you live again for a Tournament of Death in September of
Yeah.
2024.
Another guy who doesn't call me anymore, DJ Hyde. How about that?
I don't get it, man. So, at CZW, this is kind of a random question I had. In 2003, they had the storyline, the CZW versus IWA Mid South. You were like the one main player missing from that. Were you in Japan at the time, or
I was in Japan that whole time, flying back and forth. I've been to Japan 49 times, as that tells you why I was not being able to do that. But uh, after things happened with CZW and they wasn't there anymore, they made me the Gaijin boss. So I was there. I was flying home for a week, flying there for 3, flying home for a few days. A couple of those were one show, which means you fly there, you rest, you do the show, you rest, then you fly home. I mean, yeah, but that's where I was for the CZW versus IWA.
so throughout your career when you go to Japan, other than the one shots, like how long is it? Is it a typical 3 week tour most of the time, or is it totally sporadic when you do the Japan dates?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your question.
When you go to
I'm having trouble
Japan,
hearing.
that's all right. For the most part, is it sporadic or is it the typical 3 week tours, or what is your average time in Japan? Like they bring you in.
I mean, so this last time I was there for 9 months. Before that, the longest I'd stayed there would be 3 months. And then, but sometimes it was a week, sometimes it was 3 weeks, sometimes it was a month. But, yeah, this last time I was there for 9 months.
So that 9 month run when you're writing the book, were there weeks off, or is it like 3 on, 2 off, or how would it typically work?
Yeah, so sometimes in between shows, one or two times it was a week. Uh, but I had a fiance, so you know I would ride a train from Shin, Yokohama to Osaka, writing the book. Uh, I would take bus trips from Shin, Yokohama to Sapporo on a ferry boat and in a bus, writing the book. Uh, Sitting in a hotel with no English on the TV, writing the book. I mean, like I said, I had plenty of downtime, so I got the book written.
And also in New Japan, you made a surprise return in late 2023 and won the belt. I remember this because I was sitting at home recovering from surgery, watching a lot of wrestling, and I didn't get to see the show, but I remember it popping up my newsfeed. It's like, holy shit, Pondo's back and he's the champion.
That's it,
That was a
man.
big deal for us, dude.
It was a huge, huge deal for me to be the Big Japan Deathmatch champion, and then later on, me and Dale became the Big Japan Tag Team champions, and we was that for I don't know months. I can't remember how long. We defended the belts in Japan and Australia. I'm pretty proud of that accomplishment as well. When Violent J had called me texted me while I was in Australia and said, "Hey, if you don't come back and do any shows, we don't know if we can use you on the gathering." So I went back to Japan. I gave them their belt back. I flew home and did some JCW shows, and then I still wasn't on the gathering. So, uh, like I said, I pretty well messed myself around, but hoping to get myself out of the rut and get a good run. Hell, I'm 56 now. I'm wanting to do as many shows as I can before that end. I don't know when the end will be. Like, I'm not going to quit doing death matches until deathmatch quits doing me. So I still come in. I still work very hard. So I'm hoping somebody out there, I hope they will book me on their show and see what I'm talking about.
Like I said, you had a heck of a run. Was it spring, summer, up until September when you're doing the JCW versus GCW feud?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, I have the trailer and I watched all the GCW side of it, and you were on like all the Midwest ones and all the ones with the JCW guys. You can seem to be on all of them. You and Tony.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And of course, I talk about that bump you took, the suplex off the cage.
Yeah. I mean, that if that doesn't show you that I'm still willing to go the extra mile, that one bump right there should tell everybody, hey, Pondo's still willing to mutilate his body for the entertainment of others. So
For those who
use
don't
me.
know, it was the Art of War Games match, the two rings in the cage, 4-on-4. There might have been 5-on-5. And Pondo suplexed Mr. Danger off the top of the cage to the canvas.
Yeah. Through panes of glass, light tubes, and boards, and all types of shit.
Now, I believe you were the inventor of the light tube cabin, or as far as I remember.
I wasn't the inventor. A guy named Devin, or can't remember his name, but anyway, I was the first one to go through that. Like, when I saw it, I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. So every time I see wrestlers use those now, I really am flattered that something that I did first way back in the day has taken off, and uh, a lot of people would call it an insult, but I call it flattery. Uh, but I do see every once in a while a wrestler have a saw bat or use a stop sign, and I'm 56. I don't have much left, so I will write somebody and say, "Hey, is there any way you can not use those?" But other than that, it's all flattery.
Well, the saw bat was later, but back in the day, the stop sign was all you from like, was it late
Yeah.
99, 2000 on?
I carried I can't tell you how many stop signs I've had over the years, and I never stole one. That way I could pass the lie detector test if I ever needed to. It was always fans giving them to me.
One of your shirts you have, like, you do the horror themes. I love the one you have. This is can't that's the stop sign, you with the stop sign, can't stop Baka. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Baka means stupid. Uh, Back in 2002, I started this group called Baka Guy Gene, which means stupid foreigners, and that's continued on into 2025. Of course, I'm not there anymore. Well, no, 2026 too. Well, no. So, yeah, I'm hoping to get back in 2026 and continue Baka Gaijin.
For those who don't know, gaijin is like a very derogatory term for a non-Japanese person. In wrestling, it's the gaijin locker room. It's always been called that, but nowadays you can't say that. So there's a good story in your first book about like the guy's like, no, don't say that, but it got over like crazy.
Right. Kojika hated it. Tosaka loved it. So,
But with that name and like you and Tony, your personalities and the way you are and the way you guys mess with each other, I mean, that's just you guys. Like they say, the best characters are as that person with the volume turned up, and that's you and Tony all day with the volume turned up. Is that correct?
I mean, we used to pull pranks and pick on people all the time, and we'd get away with it because they'd figure out it was us and they'd say, oh, Baka Gaijin.
So, you made the Big Japan. You returned to Big Japan in 2023. Then you came home. Then you went and did that 9-month tour. You took a break in. Was it 2022, 2023? You took a little bit of a break, and you came back, and that's when you came back to Big Japan for your big runs.
it was an 8-week break. It was the first time that I ever spent one night in the hospital. Matthew Justice jumped down off this balcony and knee first went right into my ribs, breaking 3 and 4 and sending 4 tearing a hole in my lung, causing it to collapse. But I went back to the ring right after that and did another 7 minutes, picking him up, picking up stop signs, swinging sledgehammers. So I'd say that puts me in the bad motherfuckers club that I went back and did another 7 minutes with a collapsed lung. But I had surgery. Then luckily it was in Florida where my parents live. So my mom took care of me for those 8 weeks. And she made me promise because I was supposed to be out 12 weeks. She made me promise not to get it back in the ring for 12 weeks. And she took care of me for 8 weeks. So I promised her, and I was ready in 8 weeks, but I did. I took the 12-week break. But other than that, you've never seen me take a break. I always want to wrestle.
Yeah, you take the insane, crazy bumps, and that kind of leads to something else I want to touch on. You're known for you don't drink, you don't do drugs, you don't take pain pills. Like,
No,
is it mental discipline? Are you just wired differently, or how do you do so much without that when guys who do way less than you require a lot more to get through the wrestling business?
I really can't explain that. Like I see guys walking around the locker room with all their muscles, with ice packs on their shoulders, and I see other wrestlers with terrible knees. I have great knees. I don't have problems with my shoulders. I don't have problems with anything. I don't know if you remember this, but I used to weigh 332 pounds. Now I'm down to 196 pounds. So I'm in the best shape that I've been in years. I'm moving around the ring a lot better. Uh, I just can't explain, I guess, stupidity. Stupidity is on my side, and I'm always ready to do what it takes to get the crowd to want me to come back and buy a ticket to see me again and chant my name. So I work very hard on what I'm doing, and people realize that. Except I think promoters forget that. That's the problem.
That is a big problem because anytime when you're on the show, the fans are always making noise, and we're always intrigued. That's for damn sure. And
Thank you.
I know I asked you this before, but I would love to see. We need to get some old school Man Pondo compilations going on because you do a lot of great work. But I'm sure there's kids like I'm 43, but I'm sure there's people in their 20s, maybe 15. They haven't seen your IWA Mid South or your early CZW or
I talk about this a lot. That back when I started, social media was the wrestling magazines or videotapes from tape trading.
yeah.
That's the only way other areas knew who you was. So now, if you put in search bar, I want to see Matt Tremont hit somebody in the head with a fish, AI will let you do that. Or it's already happened, and you can put that in the search bar and it'll pop right up. Back in the day, there was no search bar, you know, uh, just those videotapes and the wrestling magazines. And I was pretty fluent in both of those. So I think that helped me a lot. I'm not famous, but I'm known, and I think that helped me get known.
I I mean, you're not world I could argue with you on that. I think you're pretty famous at least in the wrestling world.
There's A-listers, B and C. I'm down there in the E's and the F's somewhere, I think.
I think you're a little too hard yourself, but as your career winds down, I mean, Father Time get this all eventually. Is there any left opponents or certain matches or even certain deathmatch tournaments that you want to take place in that you haven't had a chance to or haven't gotten around to
I
yet?
I wanna do all the deathmatch tournaments. I wanna wrestle Bull Bronson. I wanna wrestle Little Sicko. Uh, I I wanna wrestle. I know these guys think I hate them, and they say a lot of things about me, but I wanna wrestle Drew Parker or Lou Nixon. Uh, I wanna I want to go to other countries. I want to,
Parker be a really good match.
56, and it's no telling when's the last day. I've never wrestled in Italy, France, um, Scotland. I want to do other countries. I've done 6 already. I wouldn't mind 7, 8, or 9. Uh, di- uh, Alive or dead, I would love to wrestle Bruiser Brody, but we know that's not going to happen. But I think Sergeant Slaughter still has one in him, and that would be me. I would love to wrestle Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, I guess I was telling you before, my first time I ever saw someone take a fireball was Sergeant Slaughter in '91 from Hulk Hogan, Desert Storm. I mean, I'm younger than you, obviously, but he wasn't the first by any mean, but that's the first time I seen it on mainstream TV. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, I seen Jerry the King Lawler throw a lot of them fireballs, so I grew up watching those.
Mm. And you said before, actually you said this in your book too, you grew up, you were kinda in between 4 territories. You're kinda like dead center between Memphis and a few others.
Dead center. I lived in a small town of Flora, Illinois, population 5,000. An hour and a half to the west was St. Louis, Missouri, that had Keel Auditorium and the Checker Dome, wrestling at the Chase. So I got to see Bruiser Brody, Abdullah, Bulldog Bob Brown, Spike Huber. Um, an hour to the south was Angelo Paffo's ICW. So I got to watch Macho Man Randy Savage, Leaping Lanny, Crusher Broomfield, who became the One Man Gang. An hour and a half to the west was CWA, which became USWA, which was Jerry the King Lawler, Bill Dundee, Sheep Herders, Moondogs, Fabulous Ones. 5 hours to the north was Chicago, that had everything: AWA, WWF, WWF, WCW, Windy City Wrestling, WCCW. So growing up, I went to a lot of live events and loved every one of them. I went to Super Clash 3 in Chicago. I went to the Night of the Skywalkers in Chicago. I went and saw POW, Powerful Women of Wrestling, when Medusa Michelli, Alondra Blaze, was champion. Back in the day, if they was in this area, I pretty well went and watched them wrestle.
Now, of all since someone you were there in the territory days, not just reading the magazines, but you were there in person. So of those groups, what was your favorite if you had to pick one?
Have to say favorite would be the USWA, because I was there every Wednesday. Um, but closest to me would be wrestling at the Chase, and then ICW, Paffo's group. They were pretty sporadic. I would go to their Illinois events, which was Carmi, Enfield, Harrisburg, but they wasn't all the time. But then, man, there was so many little spot shows. I remember going and watching one of the shows had Bruiser Brody versus Abdullah the Butcher main event. I saw Macho Man versus Baker. I saw Macho Man versus Leaping Lanny. I saw man, Gypsy Joe versus Tojo Yamamoto. I mean,
Oh, that's the most cool.
if it was a wrestling show and it was in my area, I would go, no matter who it was.
Were you there for any of the Tupelo, Mississippi concession stand brawls? Did you ever go to any of those? I guess that was probably too far. Never mind.
Now, I never went to Mississippi or the Memphis Mid South Coliseum, but uh, I think the Evansville Coliseum would have shit a brick if somebody started fighting in their concession stand. So it never happened there. But I was there for the very first Evansville Coliseum Loser League Town match, Jerry the King Lawler versus Bill Dundee, sold out show. My grandma got home late for work, so we showed up at the Evansville Coliseum, uh, and the matches were already going on. And the lady said, "Hey, I got these tickets. Would you like to sit in one of these?" And it was front row center for Jerry the King Lawler versus Bill Dundee, Loser League Town match at the Evansville Coliseum. I was very happy about that.
Nice. You're kinda I mean, you and You and Lawler have some similarities. I mean, he's a little hardcore. I mean, not nowhere near you are, but you, as far as longevity, I think you and him have a lot in common. You guys never say when, never call it a career.
Uh, I'm still going, man. Like, I wrestled Jerry the King Lawler. I don't know if you knew that or not for ASW, for Gary Dameron. He put me versus Jerry the King Lawler. And of course, uh, working for USWA and being the shits 2 years in, Jerry the King Lawler didn't have much faith in me. But after we got done, he shook my hand and said, "Man, I can tell you learned a thing or two." So for him, that's a compliment.
So you wrestled, you caught the tail end of Memphis. So you were a territory guy, just barely. It sounds like in your career.
Yeah, I let my mouth get me in trouble, but Glenn Jacobs, I had helped him along, uh, pushed him to send a videotape to Memphis, and he was taking me along on some of these shows. So a lot of times I was moondog bait, which to me I didn't care. I was such a moondog fan that I loved doing that, and yeah, man, I did, the one TV, but I let my mouth get me in trouble, and then I wasn't allowed to come back to USWA anymore. Not to as a fan, but I wasn't allowed to go and wrestle for him anymore, which was fine by me, you know. I mean, I had plenty of other shows going by then, so, yeah, you're right. I was there for a small stint. Nothing famous, nothing popular, but, I do have that one match on YouTube where I wrestled Jeff Jarrett at the TV show.
I know that's pretty incredible. So coming up, I mean, you were more known as an IWA Mid South guy and a big Japan guy. In your book? You said your favorite promoters are the Juggalos because they treat you well and they pay you well. What are some other promoters that or promotions that you love to work for?
Well, there was Kick-Ass Wrestling out of Memphis, which was the funnest wrestling company I ever worked for. I didn't partake in the drugs and the alcohol, but that was allowed. Um, we were sponsored by strip joints, so there was always naked strippers running around back there. Maybe other things happen with the strippers. I can't really specify on that. Plus, uh, we was in a wrestling town in Memphis, Tennessee, where they have seen wrestling forever. And Corey Macklin had started a company called Power Pro Wrestling,
I remember that.
and we were out drawing them. We was in the New Daisy Theater, and we were drawing 300 to 400 people, where Power Pro was lucky to have 75 to 100 people. So, and stars would come in and out. We had Jamie Dundee, we had Sid Vicious, Viscera. You know, it was just a good time at Kick Ass Wrestling, and of course, Malcolm Monroe, Sweet Daddy Malcolm Monroe would use me in Michigan on his shows. Uh, Alan, oh man, I forgot Alan's. A.T. Huck is his real name, is his ref name. He would use me in Michigan area. Um, Mike Rogers and Big Ben Oliver would use me in St. Louis for MAW. Yeah, man, I was pretty fluent in any company that would say yes and meet the terms. I was there and never no showed.
Are there any states you've missed? Like, I know you've gone all over the US, but is there a state or 2 that you haven't wrestled in that you really want to? Like, if you've done Alaska, that's usually a hard one to get to, but do you ever done, like, Alaska,
Well,
Hawaii, something crazy?
I would like to wrestle in all 50 states except Alaska because I hate the cold. I can't stand the cold. But there's a few states that's escaped me. I'd like to do a lot more stuff in other countries. I specified that already that I hadn't wrestled in France or Scotland or Italy. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I wish I could do, but I'm not stupid. I know being 56, I know my time is winding down, but in my mind, it's not winding down. I'm still ready to go. I still take crazy bumps. I'm still willing to go that extra mile, and I won't no show. I work hard, so Yeah, man. I just want to work as many companies as I can. I'd like to do one of them Jericho cruises. Tell you the truth,
I thought I
I
mentioned that
I
next.
did talk as Jericho. My buddy Terry Harper booked Fozzy, and I talked to him there, and that's how he got in the book. But he just did Scarefest, and I went and said, "Hey, how's it going? It's Pondo." And of course, he was in a hurry, but he didn't really know who I was. But I think if people reach out to his Twitter or his Fozzy page, or if you see him in person, if you say, "Hey, Pondo would love to do one of them Jericho cruises," maybe, who knows what the future will
Let's
hold.
make it happen. I've been on 3 myself on the schedule for this next one, so I wanna see that happen.
Yeah,
Pondo, like I
I
said,
would
unlike
love
some of those
that.
guys, Pondo will show up.
I will show up. I will be there.
So winding down with your career, like, well, first of all, you were promoted to you owned IWA East Coast and then later on Girl Fight. How long did those last approximately? 'Cause I know East Coast is there for a while.
So East Coast, uh, I think it lasted like 12, 13 years, but I moved from Charleston, West Virginia to Louisville. And once I moved, the work of promotion didn't get put into the company. So we went from 300 to 400 people to 200 people to 100 people to 50 people. So I just closed the company down. But then Michael Tawney, who I want to talk about here in a minute, Michael Tawney, he started IWA East Coast back up, and he was doing good things with it. But then his health got the better of him. So IWA East Coast hasn't really ran all that much, but arguably we was doing one of the best deathmatch tournaments because people really want to see the Masters of Pain come back. And if Fat Ton's health comes back, then yes, there will be that. Then I was running Girl Fight Wrestling, like you said. And if you think it's rough booking a show full of guys, you should try booking a show full of girls. It's even more rougher. But that comes back February 15th in Clarksville, Indiana. Billy Starks has took it over, and looks like she's got a great card booked up. So go to my Facebook and you'll see the flyer on there. But I have thought about wanting to start a new company. I got the guys that I want to use in my head. I have the name of the company that I don't want to give out. Um, but the problem is, with IWA East Coast and Girl Fight Wrestling, nobody ever got fucked on a payday. And right now, money's tight for me and the United States. So I don't want to do another show without the funds because I hate going and wrestling for cheap money. So I don't want to expect other people to do that. So maybe someday I'll do another company.
That'll be good. And now the same old question. Well, let's talk about your friend, your friend Mike there. He's having some issues and you got some things going on for him.
Michael Tawney needs a kidney, and I believe he has one in for some tests on that. But he has a GoFundMe page. I don't have that. I think you had the link.
I do. It's gonna be posted in the episode description.
And the most important part is he is getting ready to do well, Elkview Adam and Colton Collins is doing a benefit show for him on February 21st in Charleston, West Virginia. I would appreciate, even if you're not planning on going to the show, buy a ticket for the show just to help Fat Ton out in this hard journey that he's having. I want to reach out to everybody who's give to the GoFundMe. I appreciate all of you, but Michael Tawney needs help right now, and he's one of the good ones in the business. So help the guy out.
Yeah, we all need to get on that, guys. One thing I wanted to ask you, as far as the deathmatch wrestling goes in the US deathmatch scene, how would you compare good and bad, like the 2001 era, the Ian Rottens, the Zandigs versus the current era? You have Brett Lauderdale, Danny Lamonto, and others. What's better? What's worse?
So back in the day when you swung a light tube at somebody's head, it got a pop. You could do two or three or four or five of those, and they always got a pop because they was new. Uh, just like you can't eat the same food every day, otherwise it's just going to get old. Deathmatch shows today is all about swing, 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 pick up a bundle of tubes, throw, 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 pick up a chair, throw it at somebody's face. You do that once, you get a pop. You do it twice, you get a small pop. You get 3, 4, 5, 100, nobody gives a shit anymore. So, my advice to shows today is do moves. Um, Instead of throwing a chair at somebody's face, which that's Sabu's thing, and he did it first and well, set up 2 chairs and put somebody through those chairs. Instead of swinging light tubes at somebody's head, put up 2 chairs and put light tubes across it and do moves through those light tubes. Be more creative other than just swinging and throwing. And it's not like back in the day when you could do that and get a pop. So listen to your crowd as you're doing it and realize, hey, maybe I need to do something different.
Very good advice. So that same old question everyone always asks, who's your Mount Rushmore? Let's talk deathmatch or hardcore and deathmatch.
I would say first on there would have to be Mr. Danger Masanaga because he was the one that I was watching to study and learn to be doing the stupid things that I do today. Of course, Terry Funk's on there. Cactus Jack is on there. And then if you go back to his AWA days of bleeding all the time and getting the job done, AWA Sergeant Slaughter would be on there.
That's not the match we make happen. Pondo versus Sarge. That's Pondo
And
versus
I would
Sarge on
take
the
care
Jericho
of him.
Cruise. There we go.
I would take care of Slaughter. I would take care of Cactus Jack. I'll take care of anybody. You can ask all the wrestlers. They're so afraid when I get there to wrestle me, but afterwards they was like, "Oh my God, that was easy," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I do," So, uh, yeah, man, I would take care of Slaughter. I think he's got one more in him, and that would be me.
Heck yeah. We can do boot camp or four corners of pain. What would it be?
That's boot camp. I'll take that boot camp any day.
That'd be awesome. Anything else you want to add before you take off, or anything else? I know you just sent me. You have a new show coming up that you're booked on March. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, here in Louisville. I'm not sure who I'm wrestling yet, but Brett Lauderdale, because it's here in the area, has booked me on GCW. So that will be in Louisville, Kentucky. It's put on by Terry Harper Presents. So I hope everybody comes out for that. The last one, I was in Japan when it happened, but it was a very good crowd. So I'm hoping it'll be a good crowd for this one as well. And I'm in West Virginia for Beastman for VCW, February 21st. I'm in somewhere in Tennessee for Kevin Brannon. All these flyers are on my Facebook. February 20th. No, 21st. I'm sorry. I'm there for Kevin Brannon 21st. I'm there for Beastman February 22nd. But I am in near St. Louis in Belleville, Illinois for SICW. And me and Attila Khan's getting ready to kill any 2 people that get in the ring with us. So I'm out there. It's just not as often as I wish I was.
So, do you want to plug yourself one more time? Your book, the Amazon links. Actually, his old book, I bought a well, he gave me. Well, he didn't give me. He had purchased a copy from you back in 2019 in GCW. I had a long flight day yesterday, so I bought the Amazon one just to entertain myself. And $6 on Amazon if you want the first one, real quick. But he can get you a signed copy if you want. And what are the links again for that information?
So it's Amazon.com, or you can go to the publisher, John Cosper, and go to visitdarkpark.com.
And you also got the T-shirts that Can't Stop Baka, everything else.
Oh yeah, and I have if you go to my Facebook again, that's Kevin Kennedy, Canady. Put Pondo at the end. My page will come right up, or Madman Pondo, all one word with the last O being a 0 on Instagram. I got 8x10s and Japanese wrestling posters to be autographed and sent out. So write me and let's do business. Let's talk prices.
Actually, I want to make for one more pledge here. Not only do we want to see Pound on the Jericho Cruise, This is out for Matt Cardona here. I want to see a Pondo big rubber guy before you call it a career.
Yeah. I would
That'd be
love
awesome.
that. I would love that, but I don't know. Matt Cardona, I was supposed to wrestle him one time, and he more or less got me canceled off the show. So we really don't talk that much. But yeah, man, I would love a figure, and don't think that it wouldn't sell because everywhere I go, everybody says the same thing you did, or they say, "Hey, do I have one, and where can I buy it?" So I think it would do pretty good.
Okay, dumb question here. Did you have one for Big Japan back in the day?
I did not.
That's crazy.
The first, so they were making double packs. The first one was Zandig and Kasai,
I've
which
seen those.
you can find those. The next one was going to be White Beater and Shadow WX, and the third one was going to be Pondo and Yamakawa. But the first one didn't do all that good, so the whole project, all of them, just got scrapped.
I don't know. There might be a template, or what we call it, like a prototype somewhere. Someone's got to have one in their basement or something.
I don't know. I don't think I even got past the drawing board stage.
We need to make that happen, man. That's one more put down the list.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, man, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for
Oh,
everything, man.
thank you. Thank you for your time, and I hope everybody likes the book. Don't forget to give me a review on my Facebook or Instagram, because part 3, I'll work on part 3 if part 2 does good.
Let's make it happen, guys. Let's put those reviews.
Thank you,
Yes,
man.
sir. Thank you so much, man.
See ya.